Did you know I invented the baseball bat choke from underneath?
I had a suspicion.
It was me. So, at least I thought so at the time. So back when I was a purple belt, right around the time I got my purple belt, I was training with one of my really good friends, Steve Hordinsky, and I had this really cool baseball bat choke defense from the bottom, right? Because that's where it usually happens, is from the bottom. And he went for the baseball bat choke, and I was like, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna roll him. So I rolled him over, and wouldn't you know it, I thought, well, usually that works, and they let go. And he finished, he just kept the choke, and he finished it from there. And I was like, well, dang, I have to have a follow-up. So there's some follow-ups that you can do, you can defend the choke from the top side, but I had never seen anybody at that time finish a baseball bat choke from the bottom. So I'm like, well, if you can get rolled and finish it from the bottom, why can't you set it up from the bottom? So I started getting a little tricky, right? I started thinking about this setup and how I would do it, and I started playing around with it, and man, I started hitting it a lot because people were really focused on passing the guard, and when they came around, boom, it's on. And so I show Helson this technique. I'm like, Helson, check this out. I'm gonna catch this technique at this tournament this weekend. It was one of my first purple belt matches. And he's like, oh, it's good, I like it. And since then, he's actually created like a variation that's even better. Imagine that, Helson Gracie making a technique better. But I'm not going to share that with you. You have to go to a Helson seminar for that. But I will share with you what I liked to do. Obviously, I didn't invent the move. I mean, I discovered it, I guess, on my own. I'm sure some of you with some experience have had a similar experience, and you're like, then you see it on YouTube a week later, like, I stole my move, right? Well, since then, I mean, you see guys hit it all the time. From the standing position, they'll drop down. It's a really, really solid choke, and hard to stop once it's on. So the way that I like to set it up, or at least the way I preferred to, was I like to get the tail out. All right, so in the battle, it's one of the first things I like to do when when I'm competing is rip a tail out, because I may want to use that later, right? So if we're down like this on the ground, and the person is trying to pass, and I have this wrapped around, and my hands are like this. If my hands aren't crossed, right, I'm just kind of defending the guard here. If my hands aren't crossed, like this sets off alarms. Hands in the collar and hands crossing. Typically, this feels like a frame sometimes. So what I would do is hold this here, fit my hand in right next to the other one. As they passed, I would roll to the other side, boom, and it's on, right? So my elbows come together, and I would tuck my head tight, and I would almost like try to literally roll them over me, okay, to continue here, the pressure. And it's a very, very tight choke if you get it in the right spot. And I've put more people to sleep with this than anything, because I think what they do is they still feel that they're breathing, right? Because it's such a tight grip here, and it's not really constricting the airway as much, right, when you're really right on it. And so a lot of people go out on this one. So when I would roll, I'd almost bring my leg tight here because I don't want them to go knee in the belly. I don't want them to smash my face or anything like that. But the instinct for a lot of people is to posture up. And when they do that, if they still haven't tapped, I start moving my body north here to finish. Because even with the arm straight, right, we circle this way. So even on the top, like the top side position, that's quite often how we're finishing that choke is laying over top. So, yeah. So I can say I discovered it. I can't really say that I invented it. So it's a little bit of clickbait, sorry. But yeah, give it a try if you like that variation. It's a little bit sneakier, I think, than putting the hands in the collar. And a lot of people are more aware of it now. The last time I tried it was at the World Championships on Leo Dalla, and he saw it coming a mile away. So after that, I put it on the shelf. I'm like, yeah, it's one of those moves that you can probably catch everybody in once, right? But yeah, it's a little bit of fun. Now, I try not to let my guard get past. So, give it a try. It's a fun little choke, and let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you soon.